3 days before the wedding, his wealthy parents thrust a prenup at me, smirking, certain of their win. Okay, so picture this. I was Sophia Williams, 28 years old, and literally 3 days away from marrying the man I loved, Ethan Blackwood. Everything felt like a dream, until his incredibly wealthy parents ambushed me, not with flowers, but with a frigid prenup and a brutal ultimatum. Sign it or the wedding was off. But here's the kicker. What those smug, entitled people didn't know was that behind my unassuming facade, I was sitting on a $9 million tech company and a spine of steel. Oh, their world was about to get a very expensive, very shocking wake-up call. Look, I grew up in a perfectly normal middle-class Chicago neighborhood. My parents were high school teachers, and they hammered into me the value of hard work and a good education. We were comfortable, you know. Never wanted for anything, but we certainly weren't wealthy. Every single penny of my college tuition came from scholarships I busted my butt for. Countless all-nighters, perfect grades, the whole 9 yards. I graduated with honors in computer science from Northwestern, and I dove headfirst into the tech world, hungry to build something truly my own. My grandpa, bless his heart, was my biggest fan. When he passed during my senior year, he left me. Well, he left me a hell of a surprise. Turns out his quiet, modest life had hidden decades of incredibly smart investments. We're talking a $7 million estate, all for me. I invested most of it, but I used a small chunk to fund my tech startup, focusing on educational software. By 26, my company's valuation had tacked another $2 million onto my net worth. But honestly, no one would have guessed it just by looking at me. I lived in a nice but totally unassuming apartment, drove a practical car, dressed well but never over the top. I wanted to succeed or fail on my own merits, not because of what was sitting in my bank account. My wealth was my private business, known only to my parents, my best friend Jenna, and my financial advisors. Then I met Ethan. It was at a charity gala for underprivileged kids. My company had donated some software, and I was there representing. Ethan was there because, of course, the Blackwoods always made their appearances, but he stood out immediately. Not just because he was tall with these warm brown eyes, but because he was genuinely engaged with the cause, unlike so many of the other trust fund kids. Our conversation that night just flowed. From education inequality to hiking trails, to our shared obsession with spicy Thai food. When he asked for my number, I gave it to him without a second thought, even though I knew exactly who his family was. The Blackwoods were Chicago old money, the kind of lineage that traced back to lumber barons and owned half the corporate power players in the Midwest through their law firm, Blackwood and Associates. Our first date was a picnic in Millennium Park. Ethan brought homemade sandwiches and, get this, admitted he'd looked up my company online and was genuinely impressed by my work. That was Ethan, thorough, but so, full story video added in below.